First, you have to try it, right?
Mhm.
Like, so the one thing I feel like we do a disservice is that we believe it won't work for us, so we don't even try, right? It's
Mm,
like affirmations may not work for you, but if you've never tried them, then you really can't prove to me that it doesn't work, right? But then you also got to make sure you're doing them in the correct manner for your specific learning style, your way of identifying what positive things about yourself and your environment, right? So me saying an I am statement is great, but me making a very affirming statement about something that will be of love and success or nurturing and is very important to how I do my affirming statements, right? So I don't do affirmations that are just I ams because those don't work for me, right?
mhm.
But that's something that I've learned because I'm like, oh, I can say I'm grateful, but it is better for me to say the love that I receive from my spouse makes my day, right? It's better for me because I can feel it through my body, right? And so
Mm,
you want to make sure not only that you try it, but that you try it in manners that fit your style. Like, what is it that you specifically need an affirmation to do for it to work? Right? Because it may actually work for you. You're just doing what every generic other person might consider an affirmation, like, oh, I'm
right,
beautiful, I'm positive, that ain't gonna work for everybody. Someone
right,
might have to say, I'm not gonna smoke this weed to make me joyful, right? They might have to
right,
say that, right?
right,
Right.
But they also might say that when I spend time with my body, I learn to love me again, right? You
right.
have to figure out how that affirming statement is going to be moved throughout out throughout your physical healing, right? And so
Mhm,
for me, any of the things that have to do with our cognitive thinking, you wrap it into your body and you're more likely to heal, right?
mhm.
Because the reality is that even if you don't choose to do that, it's happening anyway, right?
Right.
So even the negative is going to be wrapped into your body and it's going to be in throughout your body. So to me, it's learning. Hey, Sherry, Wary.
Hi
It's
there.
learning how to practice the first doing it, acknowledging that
Mhm,
I have to try something, trying it in multiple ways before I give up on the approach, right?
mhm.
And then when I don't know multiple ways, ask for help. Like, there is no in my eye, there is no bigger fault or detriment to our healing than to think that we have to do it alone.
Right.
Like, we are
Mhm.
communal people, we are loving and caring, and part of how we do our best is through each other, right? So to me, self-care is great, but collective care will always be the thing that keeps us going, right? So you have to
Mm,
surround yourself, and when you don't have it in your own individual, identify family, make it, find relationships, connect with somebody who
Absolutely.
you might have learned or met in school, and now you have something so in common that you live through that experience, right? I was talking to one of my besties last night, and I'm like, we're talking about something that I talked about when I was 18 years old, and she could repeat back to me what I said, and I was like, oh my God, I said that.
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, it's so good. I was like, I wish I had listened to my advice. I was like, but she did, and it worked out for her. It didn't work out for me till years later. But anyway, but the point was, it's like you don't even realize that you create what you need when you find like experiences. And in our case, we had a like experience that wasn't all healthy, but we grew together, right? And as
Mhm,
we grew together, we were able to help each other grow, right?
right.
You need that. So when you don't know, ask for help, go to your connections. And then if you don't have them in your immediate, find them in resources.
Right.
There's support groups, coaches, therapists. There's so many different ways that you can ask for help and actually get it these days, that it doesn't all have to be up to you to figure it out on your own.